Welcome to Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Over the next hour, you'll be introduced to business and local leaders impacting our community. Text your comments or questions directly to the studio at 540-371-5756. Now, the host of Town Talk, Ted Schubel.
We are going to have a kind of a preview of what to expect over the holidays in downtown Fredericksburg. Lots to talk about. Chris Allen is here with Fredericksburg Main Street. Chris, good to have you here this morning.
Thank you. I feel like we were just here. I'm glad to be back, though.
It was. I'm glad to have you back. I was just as I was looking, I thought we were just talking about scarecrows. Danelle Rose is here, the tourism and marketing and communications coordinator for the city. Good to have you here, Danelle.
Thanks for having us.
So, first things first. In just maybe a week or so, the new Downtown Visitor Center is going to open, which is going to be really an exciting event.
It is. It is so beautiful. On this Wednesday, so I guess that would be, the 23rd of October, is the last day at 7:06.
Yeah. That's been the Visitor Center forever.
Yeah, since 1976. Yeah.
It's been the Visitor Center as long as I've been around here.
Right, as long as I've been born.
Same.
Wow, this is good. This is really.
It is. It is a really big step, but it is so exciting to just see it come to life. And yes, we are going to miss that beautiful old building, and we know that. But the new center is just. It's just beautiful. It's modern. It's accessible, which was so key for this building.
Yeah.
When people would come with wheelchairs, we'd have to let them in through that back of courtyard gate, and they'd have to come in the back door in the auditorium, and that's just that's really heartbreaking when someone wants to come and see Fredericksburg and we have to wheel them through the back. So.
Well, and you both can better than anybody talk about. Fredericksburg's not Fredericksburg that it was in 1976.
No.
Exactly.
No. Yeah. It still has its historic charm, but
absolutely.
We have great business owners and that a younger generation of business owners.
Yeah.
Which have definitely done it.
Yeah, and definitely post-pandemic, we're really kind of starting to see that grow and flourish as the younger generation of business owners popping up as others are retiring and spaces are becoming available, which is very rare in downtown. So, it's fun to see. I'm excited for it.
And you think about it, if you think of just Caroline Street, you could walk a couple of blocks from the current visitor center, and it probably is very similar. It's the same. But you start going down William Street, and you start even going down further on Caroline Street. It's a whole different world.
It is, and I think moving the visitor center over one more block to the 600 definitely helps those businesses that are on that block. And I also too, we're a block away from the train station now, so that really helps too. Train travel has really gotten to be very popular these days, and how easy is it? And I know there's no restrooms at the train station, so now they can just run up to the visitor center. So.
Well, and the parking garage is right there too, so it makes parking even easier.
Yeah. Well, and you think it is nice and quaint in the current visitor center. It's going to be hard to realize that's not the visitor center. When you say, come on down to the visitor center, I'm going to go down to the visitor center. Oh yeah, it's down there. But it's small, and I can imagine that on busy weekends. And just even talk about the holidays. People that come to Fredericksburg and go to the visitor center to just kind of get their bearings, it would get to be a really busy place.
It would. It would be packed. There'd be times we would come in, on the weekends, and I couldn't even, we'd have to pull people outside to help show them a map because it just gets so busy in there. So I think it's just going to make things so much easier. And we have such a big counter now at the new visitor centers that almost 4 travel counselors can stand back there at once on busy weekends and be able to give everyone their undivided attention, which is good.
I would think, Chris, too, that the businesses have to be thrilled. I never thought about that, though. Just that block includes them in downtown, because in a lot of times you're looking down Caroline Street and you're not looking up toward Italian Station and all of that.
Right. I feel like we've kind of always had a hard time activating the 600 block when it comes to, First Fridays or other Main Street and downtown events, because once you get past, Billikens or Italian Station, it looks kind of empty. And so now having the visitor center on the that block, I think, will really help and, bring some traffic down for First Fridays and have, our vendors that normally set up in the visitor center parking lot outside the new visitor center. I think it'll be great.
So, Danelle, how does one, you got to move everything.
We do.
You've got to move your desk, or you've got to take things from your desk, and this is I can see why it takes a week.
Yeah, and I mean it's crazy because our second and third floor economic development and tourism offices moved to May, so we feel like we've been in limbo for May, and now we're like, oh, now it's here, and it's really exciting. But it is. I mean, if you think about every brochure, every piece of merchandise we have, like everything is, it's going to be insane.
I have just seen some pictures, and I don't even. They've just been renderings of what the final product is going to look like. I would think with technology and everything, that's where we're going to walk in and just say, okay, this is 2024. Yeah,
and I mean, we have, some things like to be able to showcase like the NPS, and, we're also going to have like the capability of also pushing more of UMW and also the Fred Nats, and we're working with Fred Nats right now to sell some of their merchandise down there. So working on the licensing. So it's definitely opened these like partnerships that we haven't had room to do, if that makes sense. So
no, to tell people to go there, they're now going to really get a view of what Fredericksburg's all about.
Yeah. And I mean, we've got some amazing murals coming in that is going to help orient people, and our goal is eventually to get a touchscreen kiosk. We're in the process of getting quotes for that right now. So just so that people can be. There's some people that still want to talk to people, but there's other people that don't. And
that would be me.
That would be
just come in, just come in and let me just
touch a screen and send me on my way.
Yeah. So our whole goal is to be able to have this kind of, you create your own itinerary and it goes straight to your phone, and you can do whatever you want with it and just wave at the travel counselors. So
This is like moving into a new house.
It is. Yeah.
And your office is going to, Chris.
Yeah, we're going to be roomies.
Yeah.
Which that makes total sense.
It made complete sense.
It does. It really makes sense for Main Street because we partner with economic development on pretty much everything that we do. And right now, my office is in the Princess Anne building, which is a very beautiful historic building.
Totally.
But we're hidden. You would never know that we were there.
No, the first time, and I've been over there a bunch of times, but the first time you had to explain to me, you're going to go in and we're going to take the elevator up, and we're going to be, and it wasn't, talk about being distant from everything, even though you were working. And every time I think I've come up there, we would talk First Friday.
Yep.
A city kind of thing, but you're away from everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So now we'll be much more visible. I'm on the first floor where the new visitor center is. In the front, I keep calling it the fishbowl. You can drive by and wave, say hello as you drive by on Caroline Street.
Chris will be on display.
So you have already moved.
I have not. Actually, this week will be my move.
Oh, this is your move.
Yep.
The interesting thing when you do become roommates with all of this is that we're trying to set up one of these shows that one of you says, you know what, if she's coming, I see her all the time. She can handle it. We'll be able to see how you adjust.
Yeah.
No,
that's so true.
This is really... The timing is great, though, leading up to, and we'll get into all the holiday things, but to have all of this happen just before the holidays and Small Business Saturday.
Right. Who needs sleep, right?
Right. So the holidays really begin for you this week with, starting to make this move. And
thanks, Ted.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
No pressure.
We'll come back and both of you will be gone. You've discovered we don't have as much time as we thought. Got to take a quick break. We're coming back. New Visitor Center, downtown Fredericksburg. We'll continue to talk about that and a bunch of other things going on with the holidays. Chris Allen and Danelle Rose here this morning. More on News Talk 1230 WFVA.
Welcome back to Town Talk on News Talk 1230. You can weigh in about today's topic on Facebook at WFVA 1230 and by text at 540-371-5756. Here's your host, Ted Schubel.
Danelle Rose and Chris Allen in this morning. We're talking downtown Fredericksburg and changes and the holidays and all that stuff. Before we get off the visitor center, was it last Tuesday? The city council the other day. I know they got a tour. That had to be pretty exciting to be able to walk through it and to see it. I'm looking forward to just to seeing what all the newness.
Yeah, and I mean, you kind of walk in that front door and you see the new counter and everything, but then you just don't realize what's all behind that. So we have an auditorium that in theater seating will feed, I think, close to 60 people. That's where people can do the movies. That's where we'll have our little art gallery throughout the year. We also have a conference room that's going to seat, I think, 12 to 20.
12 to 15, yeah.
Yeah, or 12 to 15. So that's going to turn into a lot of a community conference room. A lot of the boards and commissions, maybe city council will be doing their work. So I'm not sure what they're going to do, but it's just going to be a great conference room for all the organizations and committees to use. And that's like right connected beside the Main Street office and in the visitor center. So it's this nice little, he'll always have access to it and, be able to use it. And I think that's great for him too. So,
yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work. I mean, I don't think I've been in that building since the Fred Nats had there when they first moved here.
Yeah, and it has changed so much. Like if you think about like that dark little courtroom in the back.
Yeah.
And, and they took out all the jail cells back there, and yeah, it has changed so much from the first time like you walked in there.
Well, just that whole building now sort of becomes. Instead of just being everybody complaining about it, it becomes part of the city.
Right. And I mean, if you think about it, like every single floor of that building has like an important factor for the city, right? Like we have the voting and we have the, witness protection program and, oh my gosh, fire department, IT, I mean, everything. Economic development's in there now. And
I was going to say, I can remember years ago doing something with the fire department and going up and thinking, these are really nice offices.
Yeah, they have the best view of the world.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, the time I went up there, I just am looking around and they're talking to me about something and I'm just looking around thinking, this is great. You get to see everything.
Well, I guess I'll be able to see fires. Like.
Yeah, right. You've got that. So no, this is really an exciting thing, and Chris, like you mentioned, the one of the things that somebody this weekend on Facebook, I saw this conversation about the parking deck and just how I know I don't use it. Sometimes I just drive around and around and around and park way far away where I'm going, and I think, why didn't I just go to the? There's just people don't use it or understand how easy and really how affordable using that parking deck is.
Yeah, I mean, especially during the week, if you're planning on coming downtown, to grab lunch with a friend or get your hair done or something. I mean, it's what, $2 for the first 3 hours, and then $1 an hour after that. A max of $8 a day. I mean, it's super easy. It's affordable. It's more convenient, I feel like, than driving around block by block trying to find parking.
Oh, it totally is. It totally is. And that's why when I saw the conversation on Facebook, I thought there's just not an understanding because everybody was saying, well, yeah, they changed it. It's $5 an hour. And I thought, no, it's not. It's never been like that.
No. And I just have family in town and they parked there while I was working the other day and they couldn't get over how cheap it was. They're like, you go to a parking garage somewhere else in a city, you pay like $5 an hour, right?
I moved here from Washington, D.C. 3 years ago, and I still can't get over the fact that it's $45 a day to park in D.C. and $8 to park in Fredericksburg.
Well, the great thing I think about this is you've got the new visitor center and all that it's going to offer in that side of town. If you go over to the Fredericksburg, because I'm always telling people when we have guests in, I'll say go to the Fredericksburg Museum if you want to get a kind of an overview of everything, and then go to what you want to do. You've got two things on basically two streets, not that far apart, that really tell you about this area.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, if you think about it, you can learn so much about the city just from spending an hour in FAM or Fredericksburg Area Museum. So, it's definitely a great starter for people when they come to the city.
Well, and going into the visitor center, I say, I would just much rather go to a kiosk than talk to somebody. But I would. But if I'm over, when I've been over at the visitor center waiting for someone or just going inside to make a purchase here or there, they are really helpful. And I hear when people come in, I hear people come to the counselors and ask things. And even if you're around here and don't know about things, go in there and ask. So they really know things, or there's a lot of great information. And a lot of great sweatshirts and things, because Chris has a Fredericksburg, Virginia. I mean, I like that.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that this weekend I was working an event, and a family, there was a couple that was coming in, and they're like, we're hosting family for Christmas this year, and we're like, come to the visitor center. We'll help you figure out all the things to do to keep your family from not annoying you, and like going and doing things. So it is so important for locals to use it just as much as residents. And I mean, or I guess tourists, I should say, because I mean, you look at our kind of zip code, we collect zip code data, and I mean, a lot of it's regional. Yeah, I think maybe probably 50 or 60% is regional. So a lot of locals and residents use it, which is great. It's an amazing resource. We're lucky to have those travel counselors that they're just so smart with all their history, and they know a lot.
And I know you have them go around, the ones that I know, that you'll have them go and go on some of these tours, or to go around town and learn about things.
Yeah, so once a year they have to go after, usually in the spring, because Ferry Farm and Kenmore will shut down in January and February. Yeah. So, but once a year they have to go visit every single museum to make sure that they're refreshed. They'll jump on the trolley tour, or we make sure that they read like some of the civil rights tour and try to take one of those walking tours as well. So, because everything, they just need to refresh their memory on a lot of that. So, and it's been great. Like, we got to go to the Potawatomi Museum and Cultural Center, got a private tour from there, and the travel counselors loved that. Like, they got to learn so much that of that history that we were very unaware of. So
yeah, but in downtown, and in the same way, Chris, just businesses downtown. If you haven't been downtown since last Christmas, and are thinking about gifts and all,
right?
Go either go walk it, or go talk to somebody in the visitor center about it, and get a map of things.
Yeah, I mean, and it's great for those people who don't come downtown on a regular basis to pop in there, and the travel counselors can point them in the direction of a restaurant or the new shops that just opened, or if they're looking for a specific type of gift, they'll know, who might carry that and send them that way. So yeah, I think it's great.
It is so easy to do Christmas shopping in downtown Fredericksburg. And I've done it in just a few hours, because you go in some of these shops and you get really unique things.
Yes. Yeah, we have a huge selection of unique products downtown. It's great.
I have this grindstone, and I grew up in this little place in Michigan where they made them years ago, and I found one. I don't know where it came from, but it is like what I grew up at an antique store. And it was on the floor. I picked it up, took it to the counter, and they wanted like $15 for it, and I took it, and you just can find anything in any kind of store. whether if you go into the antique stores, you go into the other store. If you're into soaps, or if you're into anything. You go down and buy a lot of meat at the butcher.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's so true.
Absolutely, you can. I mean, and if you hit it on a Saturday morning and we got the farmer's market, you can do most of your grocery shopping.
Yes.
So, yeah. We're really lucky to have the unique mix of businesses that we do in downtown, and I think that supporting local, especially this year, is super important as we head into the holiday season. So, but I think it's a great opportunity for everybody.
Or if you need pens, and I'll let you make a shameless plug, because your store is terrific. You have that pen wall. But you've got stationery, you've got all kinds of things. I mean, and those the kinds of things in your store, Chris, on Caroline Street. You can talk about it in a second. Everybody likes that. That's right there are a lot of Christmas presents.
Yes. So, yes, duly noted on the 700 block. We have actually changed it. It is now a pen bar. It looks a little different.
See, that's why when you don't go downtown all the time, you need to find out these things.
Yep.
A pen bar.
Yeah, but we do carry lots of stationery, notebooks. This holiday season, we'll be doing custom, like monogrammed notebooks. So great gifts. And this past weekend, we just had our Stars Hollow Saturday for Gilmore Girls fans out there. So that was a fun event.
Wow. See, it's those kinds of things. That every store does just very unique things.
Absolutely.
That you don't find in the big box stores.
Yeah, and I'll say Chris has the best greeting card selection on the wall. I mean, you're looking for something, either cutesy or snarky. Like they are the best cards. You do a great job picking them out.
Thanks.
So.
Yeah, for if you know me, I love a snarky, sassy card. So
how'd you fall into this as a business? Because I think it's a great. Everybody uses that. It looks for those kinds of things.
Yeah. So it was something that I've always wanted to do for many, many years. But then during the pandemic, I had one of those pandemic life crises and didn't want to do my job anymore. I actually used to work for a news organization in D.C. and kind of got burnt out on it. And I went, I'm going to open a retail store in the middle of a pandemic. And here we are.
I remember the first time you came when we did, because Danelle, I think you brought him.
Yeah.
And did you came because you sat right where she's sitting today, I think. Was that around? I don't even remember. Was that right around the pandemic or right before the pandemic?
It was after.
Right after.
That was Small Business Saturday of 22.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just moved here in 2022.
Wow, it seems like I've known you longer. I don't know if that's good or bad. Whether that means
that's a fellow Michigan people.
That's true.
Yeah, we learned that. Yes. So yeah, when we come back, we're going to talk about the holiday open house and some of these things. But like you said, this really is it's important. If you can shop local, if you can shop downtown this year, it means so much because it's been a tough year for everybody.
It has. I mean, I get it. Everything's more expensive. We spend more money on groceries and all that. But this year we've got some surprises in store, so we can talk more about that.
Okay, let's do that when we come back. Danelle Rose is here. Chris Allen is here. Downtown Fredericksburg. Our focus more on News Talk 1230 WFVA. It's 829.
From the Fredericksburg.today online news studios, this is News Talk 1230 WFVA Fredericksburg, a Centennial broadcasting station focused on Fredericksburg. This is Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Hear the show anytime by subscribing to the Town Talk podcast on your favorite podcast platform. And now, here's your host, Ted Schubel.
Good stuff this morning, downtown Fredericksburg. I kind of like this. Because we'll do a show when we're really into November, but to kind of as things kind of get ready, and again, so November 1st is the open date for the new visitor center. That's when that happens.
Nice soft. Well, I don't doubt it'll be soft, but yeah,
right.
It's an opening day. Right.
And I guess did I see somewhere where there's going to be like a ribbon cutting, but that'll be in January.
Yeah, so that'll be in January. And so while we're closed starting Wednesday all the way up till next Friday, November 1st, we're going to have a satellite visitor center in the court by Marriott.
Oh, okay.
So the GM is allowing us to have a little, kind of pop-up visitor center in the lobby.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be staffed 9 to 4 every day.
Okay. So, Chris, before we took the break, you said you had some. We were going to talk about some surprises. So,
yeah,
surprises.
We have some surprises. So downtown this holiday season, I think for most people is going to look a little different. Actually, Main Street, we received a grant through the Virginia Main Street program. And we were able to light the Caroline Street all the way from the 600 block to the 1000 block. So last year, the 1000 block took it upon themselves to do this. Yeah. And we saw how awesome that was, and we wanted to expand it. So starting November 9th with the holiday open house, all of Caroline Street will be lit up, all the buildings.
Won't that be something? Because there is nothing better. There is nothing better at Christmas than downtown Fredericksburg when you go down at night and just drive the street.
And I know, like, Bob Whittingham was like the driving bus last year for the 1000 block, but driving through that block last year was so cool. It was. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I know that the last few years downtown has been kind of dark during the holiday season, and there's not been a lot of lights. So we wanted to fix that.
Yeah.
What a great idea. That is really going to... And just think the night of the parade. What that'll be like.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. Danelle and I will be live streaming the Christmas parade. We did that
last year.
And we're bringing it back this year, but this year will be from the new visitor center.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can come hang out with us for a while if you want to.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Because that's right where everything
everyone stages.
Everything gets started down there.
Yeah, it'll be great.
So I will come and hang out with you for a while. Yeah. And then the the end of the parade is going back to in front of the courthouse. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So that it'll be the end of the parade.
Stand.
Yeah, the judges stand. Yes. Correct. Yeah.
So
yeah,
that is big news.
It is. Lots of changes this year. I mean, the holiday open house traditionally has always been the second weekend in November. So November 9th will be our holiday open house this year. But another change is the tree lighting ceremony. Normally, that's been the weekend after in her camp park.
Yes.
This year, it's the same weekend and in Riverfront. So we're moving.
Oh, okay.
We're moving. We're changing everything.
Right. Surprise.
You need a scorecard to keep up.
You do. You really do.
The visitor center is moving. The lighting and then the tree and
Yeah, well, so as part of that Main Street grant that we received, we also were able to do a 30-foot Christmas tree for Riverfront Park. So this year the tree lighting will have a huge tree down in Riverfront. So
yeah. And there's more space there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because we've kind of outgrown her camp park when it comes to the tree lighting. So, and you know, her camp park is still going to be lit. We're going to have the traditional little lighted fountain, and we call it like the Dr. Seuss tree, like that corner tree we lit last year, which was great. Red Door lit that for us last year.
So we'll be doing that again.
Yeah. But we're just moving the festivities down to Riverfront, which is going to be really cool.
And again, if you're going to be at Riverfront and you need a parking place, think about the parking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's half a block away from the park, and there's the parking garage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, it's perfect, and hopefully people start using it. Whether they're going, because really you can go there, you can use the parking deck, go to the visitor center, and then go
mosey on.
Yeah, and then the garage we'll have some spots designated for like kind of 30-minute quick parking for visitors as well, because there's some people that just need to run in and grab some brochures and things like that, and so it'll be 30-minute, and they'll be able to they won't have to pay for the 30-minute parking. So
you don't think about it, but when you said that a little bit earlier, Danelle, when we were talking about by moving the visitor center just a block down, about how that does really open up.
It does.
The downtown.
Yeah.
It expands it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times you just don't think about it.
Right, and like you said, like when you go out of the visitor center at the 700 block, you turn left and look down, right? Yeah. So now you're going to turn right out of the visitor center and look down. So I think I'm really excited just to open that corridor, and that's a beautiful area, like you know, with those little row houses. I
was gonna say, there's the houses, and even like a little grocery store that's at the right at the front of the, I mean, that adds that.
Yeah, it adds that, and with Agora right across the street too, and things like that. So yeah.
Well, and if you even look further, it's just a matter of time until VRE starts to, you know, they were talking about running weekend trains and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we've started to see a lot of international travelers. What they'll do is they'll buy a pass from Amtrak. It's like a 30-day pass, I think. And you just can ride any Amtrak train you can for those 30 days. So we're getting a lot of people that are just kind of like popping through our city. They want to see some of the history. So it's been really cool to see that. And we've been like holding their suitcases and things like that at the visitor center, and so that they don't have to be dragging around, because they want to shop and eat and do all the fun things. So, you know, we've been doing that too, because just being able to show someone from Australia the history and stuff is really cool to do that.
And I would think, Chris, too, with you there, just to be able to bounce ideas or to hear a conversation that someone's having and saying, hey, we can do that, makes it so much easier than to be in another office and someone will say, hey, somebody, let me send you an email, and maybe you see it today, maybe you see it on Wednesday. Right.
Yeah, I mean, Danelle and I do that all the time, and we have these conversations and there's ideas, and I'm like, wait, were you going to do that, or was I? And now we'll be next door.
So we've gotten through Holiday Open House on the 9th and that weekend. Then I guess the next thing coming up would be Small Business Saturday?
Yeah. Small Business Saturday is November 30th. It's the last Saturday of the month. It's a little late this year. Thanksgiving's a week later. Yeah, so there's a couple weekends in between. But yeah, Small Business Saturday will be the 30th. And, you know, that's our huge day downtown. I mean, it's our Black Friday.
Yeah.
You have a surprise for that weekend, too.
I do have a surprise. I am full of surprises, Fredericksburg.
So can you say it yet or not? Do we have to wait?
Should I come back and talk about it?
Right.
No, I'll share it now, and we'll talk about it more later.
We are going to talk about it later.
Yeah.
Too.
So that weekend during Small Business Saturday, and then that Sunday, December 1st, we will actually be having an ice skating rink in Riverfront Park. So I really want to have a Hallmark movie filmed in Fredericksburg. So I'm just setting the scene for yes, we did. We talked about this last year, and so I'm just trying to set the scene for this. And so we'll have an ice skating rink. It is not real ice. It's too warm in Virginia and too expensive.
Right. Stafford has done this before, though.
Yep, it's the synthetic rink.
Yeah.
And but fun. it'll be awesome. It'll be a lot of fun. So we'll have, some festivities going on in Riverfront Park that weekend so people can come down, and it's not just about shopping. It's just hang out in downtown.
Have fun.
Yeah.
Now we need to have a Christmas festival for the Hallmark movie.
Oh,
and somebody's got to be, they're all into Christmas festivals and someone's not. And
yes.
And then they're leaving on the train and somehow the train breaks down.
See, these write themselves. And Fredericksburg is the perfect spot.
And they experience the cookie crawl.
Yes.
And,
Yes. And that makes them want to stay.
Right.
And then at the end it snows.
Right.
This is perfect. At Riverfront Park.
Yeah.
Right.
You could just see it at night and it just, as the snow comes down.
Yeah.
And
Ice skating along the river.
If you're listening, Hallmark, call us.
Yeah.
This is perfect, just with the especially with the historic buildings, and you could somehow right across the river you could somehow work Ferry Farm into it, and it's perfect.
Yeah. We've been saying that for years, right?
Yeah.
I never did put together though the fact of knowing that you're moving on November 1st and they're opening on November 1st and thinking, oh okay, they're opening, but boy, there's a lot of. You obviously have been coordinating a lot of this stuff since probably spring. Start talking about things.
Yeah,
how you're going to do it.
This conversation about the visitor center has been going on since before I was even the Main Street director, which has been almost 2 years now. So, there's been a lot of this going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I don't think MC has slept since, the build-out has started and, for MC. So, because she's been kind of working with the contractors and all that stuff. So now we're just kind of coming in the tail end. We've been, planning and everything like that. And we knew it was going to be really difficult because we start planning the holiday season around May and June of the year, So we've been talking holidays, and we knew going in there that there could be a chance that we'd be moving the visitor center as well. So, it is from September until now has flown. I can't believe we're almost to the end of October already.
I know. It doesn't seem. When we've done these holiday shows every year, it doesn't seem like it's been a year.
I know.
Yeah. Well, and then because we were just here talking about Scarecrow Fest, which we had our movies in the park this past Saturday, and I was looking at the calendar going, oh man, we've only got the costume stroll and treats on the streets left.
I know.
And then we're at the holiday season.
I know. It's crazy.
The Scarecrows, by the way, downtown look terrific.
Oh, everyone did a great job.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Going around and boy, they're clever.
I think the one did you see the Southern accents?
Yeah.
That's the creepiest one. If you can get a chance to come down, that makes you stop and ew. Right?
Yes.
Theirs is great, but I think my favorite is Sight Studios.
Oh, Sight Studios.
Their scarecrows are characters from The Office. They have the little stapler and the Jello. Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I've got to go down and look at more because
I think they bring theirs in and set them in front of the front door because they pull them out during the day while they're open and stuff. So, so you can get right up close to them. They're really good though.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's an exciting time of year, and this just adds to it. And the other thing, just the way, and again, this will help Chris when in selling Hallmark on this. Just the Purina Tower having been repainted.
Yes.
And saying Fredericksburg, welcome to Fredericksburg. And they can do all kinds of things from there.
Yes, absolutely. It's a great location for filming.
It is. And I've seen some people on Amtrak videos, they're coming through Fredericksburg and they're catching that Purina Tower.
Yes.
And it's so cool to see that because people are like, oh, look at that. And, Yeah, I think it's great. Even if someone's passing through on the train, at least they're going to remember that tower and go, we should probably check out that city at some point. So
yeah, and I think it all really helps. I mean, for the longest time, we had this kind of, downtown is nothing but antique stores. And we do have a lot of great antique stores, which we love. But I think telling the other side of the story, too, it's a unique mix of shops downtown is really important, and some of these changes will really help with that.
You probably remember, I mean, it used to be that everyone would complain that everything closed. Yeah. By 5 o'clock, everything would be closed, and the stay open, the businesses started putting the flags up. That just seems to be something that you don't hear anymore.
Well, it's getting better. I know, kind of COVID kind of killed that momentum for a while, because there for a while, everything was staying open super late and things like that. And I know that's been a really big initiative that Chris has been working on, with First Fridays and then pushing Second Saturdays. Yeah, so we now do Second Saturdays. We're getting the shops to stay open later. Many of them have committed to staying open at least on Saturdays, staying open till 7 or 8 o'clock. And then last year we started, everybody closes during the Christmas parade. Last year we started Main Street After Dark, and we had 14 shops reopened after the Christmas parade, and we're going to do that again this year. That was a huge thing, because I saw a lot of families going into some of these places, and they had a place to go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can grab a bite to eat, you can do your shopping. You're going to be stuck in downtown for a while trying to, with traffic and all of that, so you might as well enjoy it. So we'll bring that back again this year, too. And the best was when we were doing the live streaming, we talked about it, and there was a family that had watched the Christmas parade online and then decided to come down and shop. Wow, talk about reverse. Everyone's leaving downtown and they're coming in. Yeah. They had no issue getting downtown because everyone's leaving. No, it was. I saw it just walking around, because it's been my thing after the Christmas parade to show the City Public Works. Just amazing. Yes. They're just amazing. So it's a show by itself. Yes. Oh, they've got those huge, that machinery is just, and are so into it. Yeah. But I did see a lot of families saying, hey, we can go over there. It's open. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. So we'll do that again this year. And we're telling the shops, obviously weather's always dependent. Last year I think we were open until about 10:30 before it started to kind of downpour. So we're shooting for the same this year, probably at least till 11 or so is when shops will be open. Yeah. Well, it's so interesting to see how Riverfront Park has just become part of the fabric, and you're able to do things like you say that Hurricane Park. Big events are you just can't fit as many people in there. But Riverfront Park, you can. It is, and Riverfront is such an amazing new park with all the lighting, from the movies in the park, this Saturday, all the lights can be lowered, but people can still walk on the sidewalks and everything like that, but you can see the movie, and it's just a great event space to have. Quick break. We'll wrap this up. Good stuff this morning with Danelle Rose and Chris Allen. Chris with Fredericksburg Main Street. Danelle Rose with the city, tourism, and the marketing and communications with the city of Fredericksburg. We'll conclude when we come back on News Talk 1230 WFV.
This is Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. Download the all-new News Talk 1230 WFVA app for Apple and Android. Text your comments or questions directly to the studio at 540-371-5756. And now, here's your host, Ted Schubel.
We're having a lot of fun for a Monday. This is a great way to start. I should have you guys in every Monday to start the week and just set the week up. Danelle Rose with the city. Chris Allen is here with Fredericksburg Main Street. Again, the big thing to remember is the visitor center, the new visitor center, opening at the Executive Plaza on November 1st.
Yes, so our final day is this Wednesday, the 23rd. Satellite Visitor Center from Thursday, the 24th, all the way through October 31st, that Thursday. And then a nice little, maybe hopefully soft opening on Friday, November 1st.
You know what we haven't talked about, and if we don't talk about it, I'm in huge trouble. Bobby Hebert and
Window Wonderland.
Yes, I'm guessing that's back.
It is, and he was like, I mean, by the end of September, he already had all the riddles written. So.
I know. He texted. He said, "When do you want to get together and talk about this?" And it was like, can it get a little colder?
Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. We're actually looking forward to doing some little prize for everyone that enters this year.
Oh, okay.
We've got some little surprises, not kinked out, all the kinks are worked out yet, so we'll have to well, we can't release that today yet because Chris can be all the surprises.
So many new things.
Chris is just, he sits up straighter when he does things. And we have something new, and his posture changes. One of the things, and I don't know if you're involved in this, because I just did a video with it. What's it called? You're using the bus. It's on a Friday in a couple of weeks.
Oh, it's like a scavenger hunt.
That's what I was
for Rappahannock.
Yes.
Healthy, I think. Yes. So they'll be set up in the courtyard of the old visitor center, possibly.
Yes. So
that looks really cool, and it's kind of a fundraiser for the agency.
It is, and they want you to learn how to ride the Fred bus.
Yeah.
Yep. And also the trolley.
Yeah.
Just downtown. And again, it's so important, get to know downtown, because things change.
Yeah, it is. And it's important to understand how to use the city. As, we can't pull up and park in front of the shop you want to go to most of the time anymore. So understanding how you can get around downtown, where to park, jump on a bus, having adequate public transportation is super important for downtown.
And I had never realized using the bus is so easy.
It is.
I never realized it, and went on one of their little training sessions of going around. It really is easy to use.
It is.
It's free.
Yeah, actually, come to think of it, I should probably have the travel counselors do that too as well, so that they could learn that system.
Yeah.
I think that would be really important.
They've got this app you can use.
Yeah.
And it tells you things, and so
we're so fancy.
I know.
That's why I really am looking forward to just the technology that the visitor center will have. Mm-hmm. That you'll walk in and you won't say, "Oh, this is such a quaint little town." You'll walk in and this is a we're right up on things.
Yeah, we're not losing our history. We're not. No. We're just expanding on it, and that's it's such an exciting time for the city. And I think this is just like I always keep saying, it's taking us to the next level, and that's what we need to do.
What when you talk about because I guess the visitor center must have opened during the bicentennial.
Yep, 1976. Yeah.
Just how when you look at pictures of that celebration of how downtown has changed. The type of stores and how it is. So this is just the next natural step.
Yeah. It's a very exciting time for downtown, and we get new roommates and yeah.
And you get to move all your stuff, so you're actually having to move like desks and stuff like that?
So fortunately we were able to go to Quote and get a moving company, thank God. So
okay.
Yeah, so they will be moving the majority of it, but we get to, deal with the mess when it comes to the visitor center. So
for all of you for the next few weeks, I would think.
Yeah.
It's going to be really kind of learning everything. And how many times will you go to the old visitor center just out of habit?
Oh my, the other day I walked almost to the visitor center. I was like, oh, I don't even work in there. I had to turn around and go to the other building. So just by habit.
I need to come downtown and just go into the visitor and just take some final pictures of the visitor center because that's going to be it. And is that going to be a private business or what happens to the old visitor center?
Yeah, so a local developer has purchased it, and I know they have every intention of kind of doing what a lot of buildings do. Like you can rent apartments up front, upstairs, and then they'll do retail or restaurant at the bottom.
That's exactly what we need.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, this is exciting. This is exciting stuff, and we'll get together maybe middle of the month of November and really talk about the Christmas season. But thank you for all the updates.
Yeah,
on everything.
Thanks for having us.
These are really important, big times for the city, and take advantage of it.
Absolutely, and I'll try to see if I can come up with another surprise for the next time I'm here.
Please, a couple. This is fun. This is fun. Chris Allen is here, Fredericksburg Main Street. Danelle Rose with the city. Thank you both. Again, November 1st, the new visitor center opens at the Executive Plaza. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
See you soon.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for listening. See you in the morning.
Thanks for listening to Town Talk on News Talk 1230 WFVA. The views expressed by the host and guests on this program are their own and not necessarily those of this station, its management, or Centennial Broadcasting. Hear the show anytime by subscribing to the Town Talk podcast on your favorite podcast platform. The Glenn Beck program is next on News Talk 1230 WFVA, focused on Fredericksburg.